Well, Craig, camp is over, season is here. You have a roster, everything look ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, we got a week here to get more prepared. It was a good start today. I thought to practice. I liked to practice today. Guys had some time off here on the weekend, which is good after camp. So thought that camp was, guys did a good job at camp. Worked, the work was put in, and in practices, and got a lot accomplished. So just we're going to keep preparing this week, and do a little team bonding, and get ready to play Saturday.
Craig Neighbors is here. How do you envision him using him, and what do you need to see? What do you want to see or hope to see from him during this time?
I think he'll be used in a lot of different ways, to be honest with you. I think he can move up and down our lineup. He can play with, offensive players, and he can play on a role from a defensive standpoint, killing penalties. He's done a good job. So we're gonna see what he does here, and I think you're gonna be pleased with what he's gonna do. He's a hell of a player. He's done a great job. He came into camp and earned a spot.
Craig, in terms of the trip to Vail, what was maybe the genesis of the idea, and why do you think it's a good thing?
Well, there's been time, we have an opportunity to get away, in a place where, we're going to play. It's close by, so that's part of it. The other thing is it's always good to get your team together. If you can, you have time to just do some team bonding, being together as a team, doing things together, things like that. So it's always a good thing to do. We got some new players too, and some young players, and so it's always good to get together and get guys together and doing things together and hanging out together.
It was a different kind of trip with Annapolis, but that was kind of a little bit of a team bonding at the end of the preseason. Do you think that helped in the Stanley Cup season?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it does help. Maybe I don't. Nobody knows, but it's there's nothing wrong with doing it. Annapolis is a great place, and got to go to the Naval Academy and do some things there with the cadets and things like that. So I think it's always a good idea to get your team together if you can at some point to do certain things like that.
Craig, if I could circle back to Neighbors for 1 second, which is kind of the game plan? I'm assuming with a 19-year-old, you're probably day-to-day, that's how you operate. But, how do you look at the coming weeks with him, getting him into games?
Well, right now I got him starting game one. So, like I said, he's earned a spot in his hockey team, so I'm going to treat him like any other player right now. For me, he came into camp. I think this has started last year for me, to be honest with you. Seeing him, his character and how he looked last year, I said it's going to be hard to keep this guy out of the league, or at an early age, and he proved me right. He came into camp here, trained hard all summer, was in great shape. He's he's really high character person, high hockey IQ. And he's got a good work ethic.
Craig, at what point, when you got James Neal in here, and even you said decisions had to be made with some of these guys, but at what point did you feel like this guy might be a good fit for our hockey club?
I guess once I got to know him and seeing him interact with our team off the ice and on the ice. And like I said before, the energy he brings, I think it's great. He's talking all the time and got a real good vibe to him. So we all know the player, and we know where he's at in his career. But he's been a guy that's scored lots of goals in his career, and I think you can always use that extra goal scoring.
Right, Clint Costa was skating with the extras today. How does he fit in? How do you want? I guess you want to get him in games. How quickly does that happen?
No, we want to get him in games. I'm not sure yet when, But Klim's got to just keep working on his game. He's got to, I think it's important for him to learn and to become a real good pro here. At the same time, watch how some of our guys handle things, how they do things. He's going to get a lot from practices, coaches working with him, and developing him and getting him ready. And he also needs to play games at the same time. So we're going to get him in games. He's going to play.
And with
When
the
you
defense,
send down a guy like Logan Brown or Mackenzie McEachern, what's the message to them, and what do you tell them that maybe they might need to work on?
Well, Logan Brown needs to, I think more than anything, I think he needs to get some confidence. I think that right now, I'm sure his confidence is not very good, coming from Ottawa to here and then now going to the minors. So confidence will be a big thing, and he's got to go play games and really gain confidence. And I think he's got to realize what type of player he wants to be in the NHL and has to be to stay in the NHL. So I think that, my message to him is, like, he needs to work on his strength. He's got to get stronger for me and quicker. And, again, find a niche to figure out how you can stay in the NHL. Mackenzie McEachran's been here for a few years. He's been a useful guy for us. I know he hasn't played all the time, and, he's been in and out of the lineup and sat out some stretches. But, again, he was in the NHL, and he was part of our team. Again, it was a numbers thing with him. Has to go down in the minors, and he's got to play and see what happens.
like the bottom three spots on defense there with Wallman, Bortuzzo, and Mikla, and today you were skating Wallman and Bortuzzo. How do you see that situation playing out, and how did you land on Wallman and Bortuzzo for starters?
Well, I liked them the last couple games they played. I thought Wallman got better and better as he went along, and he looked really good the last couple games, as did Bortuzzo, and I think that's just the way I want to start the season right now. That Mikola's got a lot of upside to him. You know, he needs to just keep working at his game and gaining confidence. And again, he's going to play games too. So we're going to need everybody.
Are you envisioning just rotating those three guys on a fairly regular basis?
That I don't know. I don't like to say what we're going to do, because things change, right? Like, you can say, oh yeah, we're going to rotate every, whatever games, but that's not always the case, so things have to play out a little bit, and got to see how the games go, how people perform in the games, and then make decisions from there.
You look at the top three lines of this team. Do you feel this is a pretty good unit there? That
There's a lot
good match.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. I think that all the three lines there can score and do a good job both ends of the ice. I think they got some good balance in there. And again, you have different options of people like Neighbors and Barbashev that can move up and down your lineup. They can be inserted in those positions too at times. So it's good balance, and it's important that everybody understands that, and understands that it's going to take it's team first, and that's what we're looking at. So we were happy with our balance there, and we're going to use everybody.
Craig, was it a tough call with Dakota Joshua, and what was your conversation with him?
Very tough. I thought he had a real good camp. Again, I think it's numbers over anything. And also, Dakota, I think it will not hurt him to go down and play some games. I didn't find he played a ton of games last year with, the American League not really getting going right away. So I think it's important he plays a lot of games and plays minutes down there, and I don't see him being down there too long. The way he performed here in camp was pretty impressive to me. I like him. He's a big guy. He skates and gets on top of people, and he's a hard-nosed player, physical. So we'll see what happens.
Craig, as you head into the regular season mode, what's Sundqvist's status? I mean, how is he health-wise and progressing from that knee surgery?
Well, he's progressing like we thought he would, and he's on a good timetable. I think he's working hard. he's doing a lot of good work in the gym, and he's getting some out there, getting some skating in with the team. He can't do every drill, but you know, I'm not going to put a timetable on Sonny. When it's a little bit too early for that, in my opinion. So he'll just keep hammering away at him and keep working him, and till he feels like he's ready to perform.
Is it the same situation with Perunovic as with Joshua? He needs to get minutes in the AHL?
Well, he's never even played a full season of pro anywhere. You know, it's unfortunate he missed last year with the surgery. So he had a great camp too. It was a tough decision for sure. He looked really good up here. But again, he needs to go play games. All right, guys, thanks.
Thanks.